What happened to the smartest kid in your class? Story 1. I was playing a game on Discord one night, and this guy my friend and I hadn't talked to in years was killed that night. One of the dudes on the Discord was still close with him. It was King awful. He was absolutely mutilated, nicest, most intelligent guy murdered by a drunk driver. We were literally making jokes about us hanging out the night before and how we hadn't heard from him in a long time. Back then, I was ignorant and would drive if I felt fine. But that was such a horrible thing, and I feel like a piece of shit nowadays that it had to really resonate with me to understand. Someone taking the life of anyone that hasn't had a chance to live it for literally no reason whatsoever. Taking a life, period. But it hit way harder knowing the guy and who he was. Story 2. So, ironically, the smartest kid in our class was me. Bar was low, and me and my sisters all have a rare stomach thing. I presented first, got the shish kebab treatment, had a very sucky 5 years, then it stopped, right around the time my older sisters started dealing with it. It will rear its head every few years for a month or just a weekend, but overall I'm completely unaffected now. Either that or my ability to adjust to a baseline is way up, but my sisters both deal with it daily. Their symptoms are less than I went through but have stuck around longer. I figure I speedran it on hard mode. Story 3. The smartest in my class were twins too. Would get perfect or almost perfect grades in every subject. Like 100% in almost every test or assignment, whether it's a math test or history paper. Did a ton of volunteer hours too. They both got accepted into Cambridge University's med program. I think only 5 or 10 applicants got accepted from all of Canada. One's a neurosurgeon and the other a cardiologist now. Story 4. That was me. Dux, or valedictorian, of my high school. Voted brainiest by my peers for the school yearbook. Highest university entrance grades of my school. Quintessential nerd. I went into chemical engineering, because that was the degree brainy kids did. I was okay at the job, but never great. Bounced around across 5 different manufacturing companies, mostly in entry-level positions or close to it. Has some mild successes, got a few promotions. Got made redundant a lot. Finally secured a management position after 10 years. And realized I absolutely hated every aspect of the job. Did a lot of soul searching. It really was a massive shock to my system that I had failed at something that was meant to be for the smart people. Took a lot for me to redefine my identity without smart being at the heart of it. These days I teach chemistry at the local high school. I absolutely love it. Kind of regret that I turned my nose up for years because I was too smart to be a teacher. But I can't change the past, so all that's left to do is learn from it. Story 5. My bullies became cops. No joke. Of the 3 people I knew from high school who eventually became cops, all of them were bullies. Only one of them really bullied me, and it was only for a little while until I confronted him in front of some of our mutual friends and asked why he was being a dick and what had I ever done to him. Then he laid off me, but he was still a bully to other people. Dude had rage issues too, and the reason he started fucking with me was because I refused to follow his orders. When I found out he was a cop a couple decades later, I was like, I'd hate to ever get pulled over by him. He acted like one of those dick cops you see foaming at the mouth, screaming in people's face for refusing to let him shit on their rights before he even had any official authority. Can't imagine what he turned into once he got some. Story 6. This reminds me of Andrea Yates, the woman who drowned her 5 kids in a bathtub. I was reading about her a few days ago. She was valedictorian and captain of her swim team, and she graduated from the University of Houston. Eventually she met her husband, who was a Christian fundamentalist, and she fell into a lifestyle where she believed birth control was sinful and one had to have as many children as possible, so when they got married she quit her job and started having babies. After giving birth she began to suffer from postpartum psychosis, and the doctor told her husband they shouldn't have any more kids and that she needed to be on medication and have someone watching her at all times. This went against their beliefs, so they had another baby, which meant she had to get off the medication, and her husband also felt that she needed to begin spending time with the kids unsupervised so that she could properly care for them as a mother should. Anyway, the first time she was left home alone she killed her kids, The youngest was only a few months old. Story 7. Went to ace the board exam, twice in 2 different fields. I couldn't be prouder. Most importantly, he became my boyfriend and changed many perspectives I had in life. I'd have never lived up to this day were it not for him, and I hope I did, and still do, my best to care for him the same. Story 7. It wasn't always shiny days. He had very depressive episodes, with lots of doubts and being forced to face heavy pressure. We had a toxic relationship in between and a lot of things weren't healthy at all. I even projected a lot of insecurities, especially being with this very intelligent person compared to my inferior self. Imagine hormones and adulting mixing up. Wow. Fortunately, we are in a so much better state right now. Man, was it a journey. We changed and developed as our own individuals, with lots of moments shared together. I'm lucky to have him. I don't care if he's smart or whatever, he's f***ing funny and is able to listen to me rant about whatever favorite thing I have for the day. He's not a cat person, but damn, I'm trying to convert him through the cat subreddits here. And I'll be here for him. Story 8. All the pressure made me have a mental breakdown in college. I was diagnosed with many illnesses mentally. Finished my first round with a 3.98. Got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Fucked my body and memory so bad I had to quit my job working at our doctor's office. Developed severe myofascial pelvic pain syndrome. I lost everything, including my husband. He cheated and left because not working made me not part of the team. I wish I put more effort into experiences rather than education, as now I'm disabled and it all feels pointless and worthless as I'm in debt I can't work out of. Story 9. He got someone preggers right out of HS. So he decided to not go to the Ivy League school he had a full scholarship to and stay home to be a dad. He got his associates at the local community college and is now a science teacher at the same high school he graduated from. I talk to him every once in a while when I'm down there to visit my parents. He's always asking about my job cause he wanted to be a software engineer when he graduated high school and the community college didn't even have regular computer classes, so he settled for some environmental science degree. Story 10. Went to college for mathematics as one of the most promising young minds in the Midwest. Was in college for a year before switching to study Spanish. Dropped out a year later. Currently works at GameStop 20 minutes from his parents' house, where he lives. He was a good friend of mine, but I recently learned that he considered me his best friend. It's such a shame that his intelligence is going to waste. He is literally so smart, and has such a talent for math, but he seems content with his life. Who am I to judge?